everyone. My name is Andrea Parsneau. With me, I have Erin Bennett. And if you came here from the prior video, you know what this is. If you came to this one first, welcome. We are introducing Miss Erin Bennett, the new narrator of The Wandering Inn. If you want to catch up on where we are in this story, if you want to catch up where we are with this video, the first video will be linked down below. We'll have it ready for you guys. But now, I wanted to take some time to talk to Erin about just the joy of this craft, the brass tacks, maybe some stuff about TWI. If you have any questions about TWI, this is a more kind of informal just discussion about, is there anything you wondered? Is there anything that's weird? Is there anything you're looking forward to that you want to know more about or anything like that? This is kind of our question, our chance to talk and commiserate a little bit.
Oh my gosh, I will. I'm still fangirling over meeting you, Andrea, in sort of in person online, you know, the magic of Zoom, because I'm such a fan of yours. And I think to this day, I've spent more time with your voice and your characters and your world of The Wandering Inn than I have with any other voice actor, any other actor, any other performer in the entire universe. I know your voice. I mean, I'm a fan first of The Wandering Inn and of Andrea. So I kind of can't. I'm just like kind of, I don't know, shaking a little bit. I'm excited. I can't say that I am that, you know, that I am that and that you are not that anymore, because you always are. You are the original. You know, everyone who begins the journey and takes the journey for so long in The Wandering Inn it's wedded to your voice and your imprint and your characters and your energy, and everyone's imagination is tied into your voice. I mean, I can't count how many times I sit in the car in my driveway, even though I've been driving on the freeway for forever, just because I want to get to the end of the chapter or the end of the page break. So, you know, we may be passing the baton between us, but we're on the same team.
It really is. And that's something we've been trying to get across through this whole thing, is that it's been a handoff. We're trying to make this a handoff. This is a teamwork thing. And you can talk me up all day long, but we didn't even know. I don't think people understand how much went into this, because it was so much. And we picked Erin personally. Pirate and I picked Erin. This woman was selected for this role because she's amazing. This was not a random pick off the internet. We're going to do a lottery pool for who gets to narrate The Wandering Inn. No, this woman's got chops. And I'm so excited for you guys to meet her.
I think we did it was 6 rounds of auditions, maybe.
Yeah.
And I was going, I was like, what? You know, and I said to my husband, I said, do you know what's happening here? And I'm like, these are, and what got me, what made me think, oh, you know what, maybe I'm a match for this world, is the character descriptions that were given for the voice matching auditions were almost every reference I got as a cultural touchstone in my life. So you tell me to do Gimli from Lord of the Rings, or you shall not pass, you know, or whatever it is, or the world has changed. Any character that are sort of my cultural touchstones, the things that I'm already a fan of, that light a fire in my imagination. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, all right, here, these characters and this character and this character. I'm like, I've got to listen to this series. So I started listening, and my jaw was just on the floor. You know, it's a nail biter. Every time I'd be pacing the floor going like, is this good enough to send? Are these character samples good enough to send? And not knowing, and at some point, you know, as an actor, you just go, you release it into the universe, and you cross your fingers, and you hope, and you try not to dream about it. You try not to. And sometimes, you know, you get a message from the universe. I had never heard. I got to tell you, Andrea, before you, I had never heard a woman anchoring a world like this before.
Thank you.
I thought it was, and I remember as a little girl, you know, especially because like I'm a huge Hobbit fan. I'm a huge like Lord of the Rings fan, in case you can't tell, Arthurian legends, stuff like that. You know, I'm really steeped in that world, and I always thought as a kid, like, why can't why are the girls like, why is there only like one or two that gets to shoot a bow and arrow?
Right.
And everybody else is pretty, or there's like a sprite or something, but like where's the gutsy heroine, you know, like who's just trying to get along in this world?
Yep.
And why can't I do all the voices? You know, I was that kid. So when I heard you and I heard The Wandering Inn, and I just went, oh, where have you been all my life?
I'm so glad we met. I get the biggest kick out of it because I don't think I can describe how fulfilling that sentence is or that sentiment is, because I was the same girl. I was the same kid. I wanted the bow and arrow. I wanted to be the superhero. I wanted to tell the story. And I've joked but in a very serious fashion about the fact that many like people who love audiobook narration, who love storytelling, there's really nothing like it. Like, there's really nothing like it. People are like, oh, well, what have you done? You're a voice actor. Do you video games or animation or anything like that? It's like, I don't. There's many who do. I don't particularly. But that's just an exposure thing. It's just getting into that realm. But I will always be a narrator because I love the story. I want to do all the voices just like you do. It's like, I want to tell the story. I want to be the one to do it. So knowing that we're kindred spirits on that is just, that makes me feel so good. That makes me feel so good because it's the truth. There's not a lot of examples for us out there, especially of you don't need to sound pretty. You don't need to always, not every voice has to be beautiful. There's a place for beautiful voices and there's a place for freaking floss. So I love that that's the sentiment you're entering, because that just makes me feel so good, because I already knew that you were going to I already knew how you were going to treat the world. You love it. And I'm so excited about that. But knowing that we share that, that makes me feel so good about it. Thank you. I want you to be the focus of this, because I have had my time with The Wandering Inn. My tenure with The Wandering Inn has been my pages. I said this in my video, who I am as a narrator, so much of who I am as a narrator can be found in the pages of The Wandering Inn. It is such a catalyst for growth and change and progression as skills as a narrator. And I am so excited somebody else gets to do it now, because it is an injection of adrenaline directly to your system, where it's just, I get to do all of this. There's a huge world and people and life. And there's not an invisible amount of singing in The Wandering Inn. Can you sing, Erin?
I love it. I can. I'm an OG musical theater kid. You know, I did 100 musicals.
That's amazing. I was so excited when I found out you could sing, because I'm like, oh, thank God, because there's all these songs. It's not that bad. Like, there are like original songs that are kind of they're throughout the series. Like there's, oh my gosh, Brothers of Serendipitous Meetings and stuff. They have like an intro song that they do and stuff, that kind of thing. So there's little tidbits, Bird singing, or
I love Bird. Yes. I love his. You know, I just picture like skipping down the road. I mean, I adore Bird.
Bird is the best.
Love it.
See, you guys knew Erin was going to be awesome. She loves Bird. By the way, let us address the probably most satisfying yet also most beautifully confusing part about all of this. Your name is Erin.
Oh God. I swear I didn't do it on purpose. I promise you, I didn't do it on purpose. I was going to be a boy. I was going to be Erin. If I was going to be a girl, I was going to be Erin. That's how that came to be. And I can't help it if Pirate chose the coolest name in the world for their protagonist. I mean, you know, I just
You will now be the third Erin in the Wandering Inn, and I love that so much because there is Aaron Erin, there is the main character Erin, and now there is the storyteller Erin. It's the best. You're like,
And you know what?
Genesis Erin.
Oh,
You're the top level Erin. You're the arbiter Erin.
when you look at the wonderful script of the typeface of the Wandering Inn, there is in Wandering is Erin. It's so perfect. Pirate, did you plan it that way?
Are you kidding me? I've never noticed that. Now I've got to look at that after we're done because I've never noticed it. Does it say it?
I mean,
it's right there. That's beautiful. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Right there. You know, give to an actor to searching for their own dick all the time. That is such a like.
We always, you know what? We all saw sex in the Lion King sparkles, okay? Those little like dust particles that ran up in the Lion King. I don't care how many of y'all special effects people tell me that that was just a product of some sort of nonsense or something. It said sex. There's nothing you can say. That is what it is. That was.
You heard it here first.
Tiny brain.
And last. Yes. The last word, the definitive word for sure. Definitely was. We all knew it.
Especially to like an 8 or 9-year-old where you're just like, oh, what's that say? So anyway, it's naughty. So, okay. So that is a beautiful inspiration. Carol Burnett is an incredible choice. I freaking love that. Okay. This job has a lot of aspects to it. This job has a lot of weird stuff that we need to do sometimes. There's even boring bits and really exciting bits and really stressful bits. What is your favorite part of the process of doing this? Is it the prep work? Is it the performance? Is it getting to interact with the characters? Is it learning them? Is it late series, early series? What's your favorite bit? If you had to pick a part, or like part you enjoy the most?
I mean, I'm going to find out as I go, you know, what my favorite part is. But right now I'm a big prep so that you can fly on the day, on recording day. I'm big on preparing, pre-reading, making sure I have everything, pronunciations, tags. I've copied a lot of the fan art to make sort of character references. So I have the characters in my head, and I'm going to be putting them, you know, in various places where I can see them. And I color code my script. So when I have my iPad, I've got, you know, it looks like a rainbow because there's so many different colors. I have different highlights, underlines, et cetera, et cetera. So I do a lot of that so that I can let go and perform when that recording button is gone, because I don't want to be thinking. I just want to be reacting and going.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a huge asset. Like that's going to be a huge asset because I don't do that in advance. I get bored halfway through the book with the highlighting, and then I just end up reading it anyway without highlighting anymore. It's a terrible thing. For anybody who doesn't know, narrators are all individual on how we prep. We all do things slightly differently than each other, and we all have, this works for me, it doesn't work for them, this works for them, it doesn't work for me kind of things. So I've tried to highlight my script. I'm entirely too ADHD for that, and I lose my mind. However, there are other people who are ADHD, and it helps them immensely. But that is going to be a huge asset, because if there is one thing that we all know about Pirate who are watching this video, who found their way to the Wandering Inn or know the Wandering Inn, Pirate does hate tags. Pirate does hate attribution tags. So there is a lot of it is one of those things that's a bane for the narrator, but it is so good for the listener, because it's so good to like hear people back and forth, and you can just hear this clippy conversation. It feels very natural, very loose. Like it feels like an actual living conversation. Behind that living conversation is the madness of trying to figure out who the hell is talking right now. So color coding in advance. Excellent idea. Excellent idea, dear. That is amazing.
Like that's Pirate's words I don't even want to say they leap off the page, because I'm not reading it. I'm always reading it for audio. And Pirate's sensibility in that way is great for the dialogue, because the movie starts in my mind. I can see it.
And you can feel it. The characters feel different. Like the characters are written differently. I can tell when it's Bird talking. I can tell when it's Saria talking. You know, the only time I'll get in trouble is if it's like a bunch of like a council in Manus or something where I've never dealt with those people before. I don't know them. Then I'll lose track for who the heck's talking. But if it's Saria, Kissimver, Pisces, all of our main dudes and dudettes that are all kind of talking back and forth, I can tell when it's Yvonne. Like it's very, you know, Pirate has an amazing way with words. It's just it's very clear. It's very, you know who's speaking. Every person has a personality and an individuality. It's absolutely beautiful. That is such an asset as a performer. And I'm super excited for you to get tucked in because it's going to be awesome.
How did you choose I'm curious, the accents and the worlds are so distinct, like the Knowles and you know, and the Drakes. And were these characters that you just read off the page and you had an inspiration, or did you talk to Pirate about them? Like, how did they come about? Because they are iconic to me. And you know, like I have sort of like an aural map of where I am in the world, and it's a huge world, you know, based on just how the little vocal changes. So I was just wondering if you could like talk a little bit about the vocal changes between the species, between the groups.
Oh, that makes me so happy that you hear that. Oh, thank you so much, because
I live for this stuff.
Yeah, one of my biggest fears is like that with it when it comes to TWIs, everything muddying and getting too confusing. Like, admittedly, Jellicoe is a Selfid. There is no viable reason she has a Scottish accent. There is no real reason that woman has a Scottish accent. I have headcanon that Jellicoe's first body was a dwarf, so she just has a dwarven accent. But in reality, why does Jellicoe have a Scottish accent? Because she sounded like she had one when I read Jellicoe, and it wasn't until we had more Selfids and things that I was like, oh, okay, well, that's not gonna work. But as the world grew and it was more limited at first. So there's a little more loosey-goosey with some of the accents right at the very beginning, but everything kind of solidified as the world grew, because I realized, okay, I'm gonna have to make sure these people are from Selim, these people are from the north, these people are from Israel, you know, yada, yada, yada. These people are from Beleros. And I wanted to make sure that was keeping separate. But as far as like the big ones, like the Knowles, I've never spoken to Pirate directly regarding like what they would like for the character voices. When I spoke to Pirate at the very beginning of the series, they said, I didn't really write it for audio. It wasn't how I was writing it. So whatever you feel is best to bring it to life, do it. And the Knowles, it's Pirate's writing, because the Knowles have very unique speech patterns. When they are speaking, they speak with an upward inflection, yes. They almost always have a confirmation at the ending, yes. That is, they always do this upward thing, and they were kind of gruff in the text. Like they said that they were a little bit gruff when they were speaking, so I did this kind of gravelly thing. And then they always did this upward, and it just kind of came out, that over-pronounced Knowlish accent, and it fit really well. Many character choices are because this feels right for the character to me. From what I know of the character, what I see of them in the story, I think this is gonna work for them. And there are a lot of like go with my heart moments, and there are moments that has backfired. But I think that for the most part, it works out. Ressa sounds like a scullery maid, and that's probably a problem. But other than that, Ressa's supposed to be a very high class maid, and I feel bad because she started out as just like an attendant kind of thing. So Ressa sounds like this, when in actuality, she's very, very proper. So it's a bit weird to have Ressa sound like an Essex girl a little bit. So it's weird. Ressa has almost like a Cockney Essex thing going on that I probably should not have done. But it's Ressa now. Like, that's who she is now. So I don't know. Where do I get the stuff? The writing. It informs how I feel about it. Unless it's the French Drakes, because the French Drakes are Monty Python. That is 100% Monty Python. But the voices, they're all made up. Like the Drakes, I knew they needed to have a hissing tone to them because their anatomy was different. Same thing with the Antinium. I didn't want to make the Antinium too different, so I gave them that clicking tone. But the Knowles have a different, because their growls and howls are how they communicate with each other. So I wanted to have just enough of the base species for these like very non-human species that they would have this base element of them that is kind of this inherently non-human, but then they've all assimilated. This is a globalized world in a lot of ways. So they've they all kind of deal with each other. There's not just drakes, but especially in Liscore, you have the gnolls, the drakes, the Antinium. You have lots. There's even humans now. You have more people there. So they've learned to talk with each other. They've learned to deal with each other. They have created a communal voice by being together. So even though they are of a racial, like of a bent, they have a species that they started out as. They're also from Liscore. So there's some of the like Palacian Garudas that they have kind of a Garuda accent, but it's also a Palace accent at the same time because they're a Garuda, but they were raised in Palace. So it's the both of them. In reality, it's Andy having a mental breakdown trying to come up with another character voice for that. So this one is going to be mixed because a lot of times there's a very small introduction. Like a lot of times it's just a very small character that becomes much bigger later on in like 5 books. So those are usually the ones that you end up in trouble with because those are the ones that make a real stranglers.
That is every, I feel like every audiobook narrator has that situation. I go, great, so I've got this, this series going, we're on book 4. Oh, here's the 4th guy over in the locker room. We'll give him an interesting, accent or dialect, and then boom, he's the love interest of the next book. You gotta sustain it over 340 pages. Good luck to you. Good day, sir. Good day. And you just go, I did it to myself. Yeah. I did it to myself. I threw the dart at the metaphorical character dartboard, and that's where it landed. And you know what? You're committed now. So, congratulations. Congratulations.
It's a mess. The screen froze again, but your voice was coming through, so I think that'll work out still. If you the editors can just like just let the voice happen. Just let the voice happen because I like what you said.
Good.
I feel so bad
because I want editing. I'm sorry.
No, I want everyone to hear. I feel so horrible interrupting you to tell you to restart, but I want everyone to hear what you said, and then I feel horrible telling you to restart it because I can tell. I know when I get stopped like that, it's like, oh, good God, I have to get back to where I was in my head. Oh no, like that's really tough for me. So I feel horrible doing it to someone else. So. I'm so sorry.
No. It's okay. I'm happy to roll with it. I'm happy to roll with it. This is the problem with travel.
It's the difficulty. Yep, right there. But I think everyone has those choices where they've made that. Oh no, why did I do that? Do you have one from your past? You don't have to specify the book or anything like that, so people don't go hunting it down. But do you have one from your past that you're like, oh man, that was I know why I did it. I know why. It doesn't mean that I don't regret it a tiny bit.
In my defense, like I don't know what the author's going to write next.
Yep.
I have to give it my all, and like what you were saying, Andrea, with your gut, you with your gut, you read, you're like, oh yeah, okay, I see what's happening here. Boom, boom, boom. Watch me making the connection, and then before you know it, that's when I teach, which is very occasional and only under duress, and people say, do you read the book first? And I go, absolutely, because it'll be just your luck if you don't read it. Do you get on, the 11th hour at the critical moment, she said in her light Irish brogue, because she was angry, it came out, and you go, what? What? If you haven't, if you weren't a good little student and did your homework. So this is the do your homework part, people, because guess whose ass is hanging out? It's guess whose name and body of work is at stake if you don't do your homework. Oh my gosh. So this is why we do it. However, there are some things we cannot predict.
You can't. I have messaged authors before and gone, just so you know, this is going to directly conflict with something from a prior book. Is this a really important feature? Because I know my authors and stuff, and I have that relationship with them, fortunately. So is this something really important to them? Because there is a big difference between that accent and this accent, and I did not know that was going to be the accent. So I can mutate. I can try to start moving it in that direction or something. Or is this something that isn't going to really matter, and we can just work with it being what it is? you just have to roll with it. You have to roll with it. That was like one of the biggest things when I was handing off or writing up like the document and stuff for like handing everything over and like making sure I put, because there's like we called it the brain dump document, which is basically like all this stuff that I've collated in my head from TWI stuff. And, which is a terrifying thought. But there was one of the things was whatever you do, because there's the dirty little secret in the narrator world is occasionally people won't pre-read. They'll read like a couple chapters ahead and then they'll perform, because admittedly a lot of us are turning books around super fast, so it's very difficult to get through it. It is hard. But I put in there like in giant caps, do not skip the pre-read. Do not, because it will burn you. Do not. You need to know. Like there have been reveals halfway through the book before of like an accent or something. So whatever you do, don't. Very rarely. I think there's been 2 accents in all of TWI. Like as far as mentioned verbatim in the story. I'm the one who did all of this. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, I love it. Your notes are amazing. I saw those all caps, and I like the fear of like the narrator's fear of God.
Yep.
Like it was in me. I was like, yep. I know it. I know that feeling.
Yep.
I will tell
see
you,
the caps and you know.
Oh my God, I
Yep.
know. And it might have been also italic and bolded as well. I'm hoping it was. I could feel the little lines, the little heat rays off of them. Oh, this comes from her soul, deep
Yes,
deep inside.
Yes, it does.
I do have like, just here's a funny little anecdote thing that happened to me as a knitter once, that I think to this day was it might have been a mistake. It might have started out as a mistake, but ended up being something I ran with. I am the knitter of a series that the main character is about a 60-ish man from Mississippi, and the author has a very feminine sounding name. It is a cozy mystery series, and I think I might have been cast, assumed that it was a female protagonist.
Uh-huh.
But it's a man and his cat, and he's a librarian, and it's one of the most beloved cozy mystery series ever. I think we're on book 17.
Oh, that's amazing.
And after, I remember the first comments, were kind of like, why is a woman, narrating this? I'm just out of curiosity. And then, but book 2, oh, she's pretty good. All right, and then I didn't notice it so much, but and then they just kept asking and asking, and come along, and I know the characters, and I love the characters, and I thought, why do we doubt ourselves? Like,
yeah,
maybe it was meant to be, and we can play everybody, and that's just great. It's about creating this world, and Charlie Harris still down here, and he has his cat, Ned Diesel, and that's the way it goes. And and we sustain it through 16 books, and I love it. And we all have those parts of ourselves that are reflected in our characters. So
that is so incredible. I love that so much. I love that. The in our other video, you brought up the rounds of auditions that happened for the TWI process, and
yes,
it made me laugh. I didn't want to say it then because I didn't want to say anything in that video, but I'll say it now, where it made me giggle so hard when when you said the descriptions were so good. So for anybody who doesn't know, this was like Marvel level secrecy. We had to keep this very quiet for the last few months because we didn't want this getting out beforehand, because we wanted to have everything organized. We wanted to have you ready. We wanted to know you were protected and ready to go. We had a new like all of the things needed to be in place before anything got said. So everything's been like Marvel level security. And one of the things was they knew that they needed to give samples in the audition, but they couldn't give like they couldn't say French drakes or like French lizard people, because French lizard people are not the most common thing in the world. And if you're talking about a massive, like an epic fantasy lit RPG series, the second you hear French lizards, it's going to be, if you know, you know. So they had to blender everything. So there was like a French accent for a dog person, or like a person who was a canid or something. And then it was like an English accent for an old witch. I think there was everything had gotten blendered basically to get the stuff to come out. What was it like seeing the evolution of each of those scripts come through? Did you have a moment where you were like, oh, I see what they did? Like, did you have a moment where it was like, oh, I get it, because that's floss. Got it. Okay.
You know, I didn't have that level of sophistication thought about this. It was mostly, oh my gosh, okay, I've got to get the clicks right. I've got to get the R rolls for the Antinium. Or it wasn't listed as the Antinium. But insect, so some of the stuff that I've done for video games, like Guild Wars 2, that Fate, those kinds of. I was a little ish familiar from some like games and stuff. I was like, oh, I think I could hook into this character, but I did not make the connection at first.
Yeah.
Also because it was not revealed to me. I was curious, but I, as an actor, if I Google stuff, if I look stuff up, if I'm like, what's changing, what could be recast, I will lose my mind. I will lose my ever loving mind.
Oh, yeah.
And also that's not meant for me. That level of information is not it's not my job. My job is to look at the character description, to see what they want, to see if it lights a fire in my brain, and give a sample and see if it works.
Yes. Oh, okay. I loved your Antinium so much. Your Antinium, the sample in there is you're gonna when Piver the flying Antinium is exactly that character. So I was like, that's just Piver. I said it while listening to the audition on like voice on Zoom with Podium. I was like, oh my gosh, that's Piver. That's Piver. That like very like yes, it's this. That like okay, it was so perfect. That guy's a little asshole, I tell you. Like he is such a little douchebag. Like I hate that dude. So
I can't wait. I was like touching part. We do certain things to find resonance and
yeah.
I mean, I was working with it.
Yes.
I was racking my brain and I was going, okay, all right, who's this? But it just lights my imagination on fire. The descriptions, but nothing said the Wandering Inn. Nothing said Andrea Parsneau. So I did not know. I was in the dark. So I was just as surprised. It was not until the acceptance email, that I knew and finally found out what it was for the last round.
That is so
Where they were like, would you like what? Like,
oh no, it cut out at the worst
lever can I
point
pull?
there.
What? Yes.
Hold on, it cut out really bad.
Oh shit.
Oh wait, you're back. I didn't know until the end. Also, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I didn't. That wasn't intended as a gotcha. I asked that question terribly. I apologize. That was not meant to be as a.
No. I got it.
No, it was TWI. I just meant like the blendering aspect of it. I'm so sorry. Continue, please.
Oh no. Don't apologize. I got you. We're clapping.
Yes.
I did not know until it was the final round. Like until you get to the final, it feels like I was like, am I on like The Voice or something? It was. Yeah, the final countdown. When you are like refreshing your inbox it's because all of this is email. Oh my God, all of this is email. You remember like once upon a time it was waiting for your cell phone to ring or, it's email. So it's like when you see that email in your inbox and you go, like it just, like you will pass to the final round or now we can reveal to you what the series is. It is the beloved The Wandering Inn by Pirate Abba, performed by Andrea Parsneau. And I just went, no. I don't know why certain moments of my life start with no, almost like I can't believe it. But I was like, no, it's not. It's not. Is it? It is?
It is. I'm so, oh, that
Just a
makes me
moment.
so
Just
happy.
a moment.
And it's true, man. It's true. I can't I haven't had to do what you did. I haven't had to do that. And I don't I probably would have cracked. You are so much stronger than I am because I would have cracked. You are insanely strong to go through all the rounds and all the auditions. And guys, it was so much. It was exhaustive and it was so much. And you were so good in all of them. I was so blown away. You did such a great job. And I was so scared about the whole process, and I've been so scared all this time. Like, I'm just a nervous wreck all the time about all of this, and there was this huge weight that came off when I heard you because it was like, "Oh, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Okay, everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be fine. She's killing it. It's gonna be awesome." I'm so excited. So, I was thrilled that when I heard you, and I can't imagine the stress of just waiting each and every time. I have purposefully avoided those situations. So you are like you're a hero, man. You are so much stronger than I
Oh my
am. So
God,
all
you're
the
mine.
props. All the props. Like I
You
can't,
know what? Should the next doctor, suppose,
right?
so-called doctor, the next baton catcher, we should be put through our paces. It's just the job.
Yes.
I read once someone said, if we could think of a better way than auditioning, we would.
Yep.
But there is no better way. You just have to put yourself out there. You have to hope. You have to hope for acceptance. Hope that this is checks all the boxes. Hope that I haven't done anything to disqualify myself in some way in people's minds. All it is about the work. We're just actors doing a great job entering a world, and the best part is getting to play. But until
Yeah.
we get to
I-
play, it's a lot of preparation, and it's a lot of
Oof. Yeah.
not knowing. I don't know if
Guesswork.
people
Yeah.
know, like, how much uncertainty and rejection we go through as actors, before we get to the point. It's not like someone goes, you've ascended to this level, and it's like, no. How does anyone level up in in voice acting?
Exactly.
How does anyone get here through years of years? No, no, no. Or maybe someday.
Yes.
It's
Exactly.
um it's humbling.
It is.
It's humbling. I know so much of your origin story because I've fangirled and watched your videos like a crazy person. I
No.
don't want to say like a stalker because I'm not stalking you. I promise. I promise. I promise. But for the first thing I was like, where did she come from, and how did she get here? And then you go, oh, there are things about us that are similar.
Yep.
Trying for it, and sometimes feeling like you're just a voice alone, and then other people come and join you, and and you get to take this ride. I would ask you. I know this is you interviewing me, but I would beg to ask Dr. Andrea,
Yes.
Mage Andrea, Sorceress Empress Andrea. You're It's like your children are, you're off to the next adventure, and I wonder, what are you concerned about, leaving it in good hands?
I know the story's in
What
good hands. My the only real reticence or fear or nervousness that I have moving forward is you guys, is the fans. That's it for me. I'm I have awesome projects on my horizon. I'm still booked out. I'm busy. People were like, "Oh, do you have big gaps?" The two people that know in my life, but like the team members and stuff are like, "Do you have big gaps in your schedule?" No, everything just kind of melted like ice cream into fill the spaces. It's like, no, I'm still booked out solid, but so I'm very, very fortunate on that front. So I'm kind of taken care of in that aspect. So my biggest fear has been making sure that I know how big this series is, and I know how many resources it's taken me, and I know how many things that I need to keep it running and like to keep the audio part of it running and stuff. And I needed to make sure you had all of that. You had the support you needed. You had all the character voices. Everything was updated. You had notes on the stuff like bronze coins are actually copper coins and stuff like that. Like, it just, I wanted to make sure that you had all that you needed. And so to the best ability that I had, to the best of my ability, we've prepared everything mechanically. You have the skill, you have the chops, you're raring to go. You're gonna freaking kill it. So I know it's in good hands. I know we've put out like the videos and the announcements and done everything we can to try to tell you guys what this is and why it's happening and who this amazing person above me is. And I know all of this has happened. So all that's left in the unknown at this point is kind of how people are going to receive it. And you can't control that. But I do know that the fans of The Wandering Inn are incredible. And I say that non-ironically, non-hyperbolically, nothing. The fans of the Wandering Inn are incredible. They are loyal, they are sweet. They love this series to the very bottom of their soul. And I'm so excited for you guys to get to hear Erin because she's amazing. And that's been my biggest fear, is making sure that you are taken care of, that you are safe, that you are protected. This process is not, there's no precedent for this. Normally narrator handoffs, you know this, Erin, sorry, I'm saying this for the camera, not for you. Narrator handoffs are usually just kind of hot potato. Like there may be a press statement that goes out, maybe. Like this is just what happens, because usually it's like contract stuff in the background, or like there's a bazillion reasons that they happen. Everyone always thinks it's like money. Everyone always assumes it's money. It's not usually money. It's usually scheduling and stuff. Like, it's usually other things than money. But the the narrator switches are usually very hot potato. You just hand it off, it's done. And from the very beginning, none of us wanted that. I never wanted that for any of this, and I pushed really hard that we have these videos, these meetings, that I could give you tutorials that for the weird voices like the Antinium and stuff, that you had everything you needed, because I wanted to prove that there's a right way to do this that honors the work, that honors the people involved, that shows that there is love and compassion and so much joy and loyalty to the series, and no one's upset or angry or anything like that. It's just time for a new doctor. That's it. Because some stories are just bigger than one person can tell on their own. So I'm tagging Erin in. That's it. It's Erin's turn. And I'm so excited for that. Erin, thank you for spending time with us tonight. I think we have talked and goofed around and laughed and had a great time. And I just, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for, maybe I can't, don't do it. I made it through the whole video. I made it through the whole thing. From the very bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for approaching this with love. Thank you for caring, for it mattering as much to you as it matters to me and to everybody else who loves this series. So it just means a lot that you were willing to do this, that you were willing to come along with this, because this was a huge ask. I'm asking a lot of you to put your face out there. I know that. I'm asking a lot of you to make videos and stuff like this where people are going to be able to comment and gripe and say things. And I just wanted to say thank you for being available, for being here, and being the incredible asset you're going to be to The Wandering Inn. I made it the whole video, guys. Sorry. I cried in the other video. This one's not supposed to be crying. I'm sorry. But yes,
Andrea, I mean, we all just are so lucky to have been in your world for so long. And I, for one, am your biggest fan. And everything that I'm going to do is in the spirit of that, and honoring Pirate's work and this wonderful collection of humans and fans and listeners and artists that we all are. So Thank you. And I can't wait to see where your next adventure takes you.
Thank you. For anybody who's watching, this book 15 will not be the last you hear of me in the Wandering Inn, because Ghost Song, the third book in Singer after Andrea, is coming out in May. May is when I believe will be recording, right? So sometime later this year, there will be book 16 of The Wandering Inn, and I'm so thrilled. So this has been incredible. You can hear more from me on Andrea. I almost say it is AndreaParsneau.com is my email, or is my website, but discord.gg/Andrea Parsneau. Anytime you want to come by and listen, anyone out there, that is where I host my Discord server. I record all day on there. That's like I record my workday, or I stream my workday on Discord. But other than that, you can find what I'm up to. There will always also be the FAQ and everything. All of this will be posted there. We will have a channel for Erin over there that has kind of her credits and her stuff that she's done and some information about her. And we'll have things available for you guys so you know who everyone is and what's going on and everything. So I have said my goodbyes. I've said enough goodbyes. And it's your turn to say hello goodbye. Where can people check your stuff out? Where can people find you?
I am reaching into the world of social media. Please be patient. I'm a work in progress. I am on Instagram at Erin Bennett Narrates. And please don't go to my website, because it sure as heck needs an overhaul, especially with all the wonderful stuff that's happening with Wandering Inn. So when I have some website info, I'll let you know. For sure.
Erin, thank you so much for being here today. You are incredible. And I'm sorry this is the first time I've done the interview, so this is kind of intense for me. I hope that this wasn't a hot mess for your side. You were amazing. Thank you for being available, for being here, for loving this as much as I do, and just being along for the ride. Welcome, Dr. Erin. Welcome to the Wandering Inn. Bye, everybody. I love you.